Morning, guys.
First day back after an off day is always kind of, you don't really know what you're getting, mental errors and things like that. What did you see from the guys today?
A lot of small technical stuff, especially on third and short on both sides of the ball. We got to shore that up. Again, the details in situational football is what's going to get us over. When your legs are tired and it's hot outside, you got to be sharp mentally.
So this guy been getting the end zone a few times in that red zone. Last year I think he had 3 or 4 touchdowns. So what do you think took that away, and how much better is it just positionally where he's at on the field, or what do you think will be the key to getting him back?
No, we're early this year. Obviously, it's practice. Last year, him and Mike were the two go-to guys. Mike made a lot of plays. They took Chris away some. So this year, hopefully, we're trying to get both in the end zone. He had some good plays today.
Both Jamel Dean and Zion McCollum had interceptions today. What have you seen from them in training camp so far, and do you like their ability to go out there and make plays?
I like their ability to make plays. I'm going to get Dean drug tested because he usually doesn't catch them. So we're going to see if he's been on that stuff or not. But other than that, they're concentrating more on understanding where their help is. They came back in good shape, and they're kind of talking to each other after every play about what they see, and the communication's been good.
But seriously, that's kind of the emphasis this year. They got to make those catches. They got to finish those plays, right?
Everybody on defense has to do that. We got our hands on some balls today. We got to continue to do that.
Coach, what do you see from Luke in the second year? I know first year he played guard and moving outside last year. He did a pretty good job. As he continued that path upward?
Luke's going to continue to get better. He's a tireless worker. He's strong as an ox. He loves to compete every day. You got to protect him from himself because he wants to get better. He wants to take every rep. The game slowed down for him a lot last year. I thought he did a lot of good things, and this year I just look for him to continue to get better and better. I thought he played well last year and a lot of times, and I think he understands how the quick D linemen are, how the strong ones are, and understands what to do and set up his blocks better.
It seems like Luke and Baker are like two peas in a pod in terms of their relationship and how they go at it on the field. What have you seen in terms of their relationship together?
Between Luke and Baker?
Yeah.
I think he's good with the whole O-line. I think in general, everybody's good with Baker, but the O-line especially because they do the protection. They get along well. They kind of have the same personality, so to speak, when they get fired up, and it's just good chemistry right now.
You think Baker's even better this year with his ball placement and velocity? It looks like it to the naked eye. What are some great throws today to Mike and Chris in the red zone? What are your thoughts?
I think it's early to say whether he's better or not, but his ball placement the past few days have been very good, and understanding the offense, picking it up as fast as he has and distribute it in the right place, he's got to continue to do that.
You've had a young tight end room. Last year was full of young guys that you had to count on quite a bit. Just what are you seeing out of those guys this year?
I mean, they're still young. They're going into their third year. But Cade is steady. You don't notice him because he's not flashy, but he always makes the big catch. He always makes a key block. Cole's just coming off an injury. Look for a lot of things from Payne this year. He's gotten stronger. We expect that from him. We're counting on that. Wells has a lot of speed. He gives us a dimension we don't have, and Cope has a lot of speed as well, and he's a gritty blocker. So as camp continues to grow, we just look for them to polish that up.
Through 5 days, Todd, in terms of injuries, distractions, could you have asked for a better start?
I think it's been off to a great start with the chemistry and camaraderie. Those guys are working. They're making mistakes, but they're professionals. They're correcting it. They're understanding what's happening to them, and they're trying to get each other better.
When you look at what's going on around the league, Todd, you see holdouts, some injuries, and this team's not dealing with that kind of stuff.
Not yet, knock on wood. We've been fortunate, but again, we're going past tomorrow. So as camp goes, hopefully they're minor injuries, if any, and we kind of go from there.
What are your expectations for tomorrow's padded practice?
It's fundamentals and technique. It's the first day of pads. It's going to be hot. They've been practicing for a while. Legs are going to be gone. We got to harp on the fundamentals and the techniques for them to get better and do the things the right way.
How much better though is it the fact that they had the off day yesterday, they come back today where they could get out any of the mental errors or sluggishness versus putting on pads say today or going 4 straight days and then off day and then pads.
Well, it's a mental grind daily. Whether they're in pads or out of pads, the heat alone is a mental grind, and it develops mental toughness. And I can say it's better, but I'm not practicing, so it's easy for me to say. And the players sit up here and say, well, it's not much better because they got to go on pads tomorrow. But they understand that. You got to play football in pads. You can't play ball without practicing ball. We expect that. We understand what they expect, and I expect them to come out and compete. It's good to see him back. You know, he's moving around a little bit. He's got some catching up to do mentally because some technique stuff he's got to clean up, but he's running fast.
Todd, what have you learned about Trask in the last year in terms of his mental toughness, his focus on the job at hand, even though, it was tough on him last summer?
He's one of the more mentally tougher guys I've seen, especially at quarterback. As a backup quarterback, he grasps it. He understands it. He competes when he gets in. No moment's too big for him. And, I'm proud of the way he's handled things and the way he's come back in shape and picking up the offense.
We don't ask you about long snappers. I mean, Zach Trinner's been the guy here as long as you've been here, but we've seen a lot of Deckers too. How much of a competition do you expect there?
I expect a big competition. Every year it's hard to get them in here. Zach's been a stalwart here for a long time, and Deckers come in, and, the games usually tell that and who can play under pressure. We know he's fast. I think he's polishing up his routes, understanding the techniques better. He's a gritty blocker, and just look for him to get better in year 2 mentally.
Todd, when the pads come out tomorrow, is Graham Barton one of the guys you're most looking forward to seeing how he operates out there?
No, it's the O-line in general, as well as the defensive line, because that's when they get to show their full skill sets, and the power comes in, and the double teams and taking on double teams and understanding what the D-line gets, and you get more of a feel what you're going to get during the season. So it'll be good work for both sides.
Do you have any idea whether Diopeta or Bredesen that will start at left guard tomorrow?
We knock them in there. We rotate them. We're not even worried about that right now.
Kalen Roach was out there getting reps with Levante David. What have you seen from Kalen so far?
Well, he's fast and he's athletic. It's just picking up the system. We know he can run. We know he can hit. It's just being vocal and picking up the system. It's a lot to pick up, but he's learning it fast.
We've been asking you about Randy Gregory since the first day. Is there any change there at all? And is there a point at which the patience kind of runs out waiting for him?
There's no change at this time. Thanks.